You know him as the director of the phenomenally successful streaming hit The Chosen, but tonight he's here to share his latest project. A bit of a change of pace as we approach the holidays. His new family movie in theaters right now is called The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. And here to tell us about The Best Christmas Pageant Ever is its director, Dallas Jenkins. Dallas, thanks for being here. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, the book, it's kind of a modern classic. Tell me how you first discovered the story and how did the movie come to be made?
Well, I read it as a kid in public school, which is why I was
Yeah.
so surprised when almost 20 years ago, my wife brings it home for me to read to the kids. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember this. And I start reading and I'm like, I don't remember how good this was. This is so funny, so witty, so nostalgic. And then I'm halfway through the book and I'm going, I don't remember this book being so Jesus-y. Like, how did we get away with reading this in public school? I get to the last chapter and the story of these six herdman kids, the worst kids in the world, and they hijack the Christmas pageant, and everyone thinks they're going to ruin everything. And it ends up that they're poverty and that their outsider status actually brings them closer to the heart and understanding of the true story than anyone else. I am crying so hard, Raymond. I can't read. Like my wife says, all right, give me the book. She reads, she starts crying. We're handing the book back and forth to each other while the other one recovers. And I finished the book and I said, I have to make this movie. I don't know how this hasn't been a movie yet. Maybe God's saving it for me. But I pursued the rights for almost 20 years. Every year I would check in with the rights holders and plead with them. And it was set up at other studios and with other directors. I want to apologize to those other directors who, if they really wanted to do this movie, my prayers to God were keeping them from doing it. So I apologize, but not really. But I
It
finally
worked.
get to, yeah, but a few years ago, I reach out again and they go, they go, give me a call. I'm like, okay, great. So he says, the studio forgot to renew the rights. We have them back. And just a couple days ago, my mom called me and said, have you heard of this show called The Chosen? And I said, oh, that's funny. The creator is always bugging me for the rights to The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. And she says, are you crazy? He's the only one who can make this movie. You better give him the rights. And so he says, I watched the show and I'm in and let's talk. So the fact that I'm able to talk to you right now about a movie called The Best Christmas Pageant Ever that I made is a calling fulfilled for sure.
Wow. Well, 2 weeks ago, the Best Christmas Pageant Ever opened with $11 million at the domestic box office, which way exceeded industry expectations. On its Friday opening, it beat out this A24 horror movie, The Heretic, even though it was just showing in less than 200 theaters in that movie. Dallas, what's the message from the audience here? What are you hearing?
Well, this is the cool thing is that's surprising is not only are we hearing from audiences that this is a new Christmas classic and that they were laughing and crying, critics, I mean, we have a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, including a positive review from the New York Times. So there's a glitch in the matrix somewhere that is happening that is causing this movie to resonate, which is really lovely. But yeah, that's what audiences are telling us. And even through this coming, this Thanksgiving gauntlet of competition of Wicked and Moana 2 and Gladiator. I'm like, if we can just survive to December when more people are even more than ever looking for something Christmassy, this movie can continue to succeed.
Well, I want to give folks a glimpse of what they'll be seeing. This is a little clip of the Best Christmas Pageant Ever.
Why'd you have to tell them they get food at church, dummy? Because I didn't think they'd actually walk into a church building.
I'm surprised they didn't burst into flames.
Sorry I didn't volunteer. Did I ruin the pageant?
Oh my goodness, no. Honey, Beth, I will tell you what I told those condescending, hyper-controlling busybodies from church, that while Helen Armstrong might be surprised the sun rises every morning even though she's not there to supervise it, she is not the only woman in the world who can run a Christmas pageant. And if they don't think I can do it, they are in for a big lesson.
You said all that?
Well, not all of it.
Any of it?
Never mind.
Dallas, last year, a New York Times article argued that Elf and Love Actually, released 2 decades ago, were the last classic Christmas movies to play in theaters. Yet neither film brought to audiences the true meaning of Christmas and the wonder of Christ's birth. How is this movie different?
That's what's so beautiful about this story, Raymond, that I said, where I said I have to make it, because just like you just said, there hasn't been a Christmas classic in theaters in a long time. And when you think of the Christmas classics, even before Love Actually and Elf, like Home Alone and A Christmas Story, movies that I love, none of them talk about Jesus. And this movie not only does in a very explicit way, and it puts a spotlight on the truth of the Jesus story and how it transforms everybody involved, including the churchgoers who've heard the story before. Um, the fact that it still feels like a Christmas classic and not a church sermon, I think, is the beauty of Barbara Robinson's writing in the book. And I'm standing on her shoulders to bring this movie to you. But people who watch this movie come out of it, believers or non-believers, saying, I understand more and love more the true Christmas story than I did before I walked into this movie. And that's a miracle, I think. And that's what I hope will stand the test of time, is that in 20 years, we'll be talking about this film as one of the classics that actually does point people to Jesus.
And it's a lot of fun along the way. I mean, it's really a fun film. Which we saw it. We watched it with our family. You assembled a great cast here: Judy Greer and Pete Holmes, Lauren Graham. Tell me what it was like, though, directing your kids in this movie. How did that happen?
Well, Judy and Pete will be the first to tell you that the kids that I was directing were them. Judy and Pete were the ones who were screwing around more than even some of the kids were. But they were amazing, and Lauren Graham from Gilmore Girls is amazing. They were all beautiful. The kids, it was challenging at times because any kid, especially you get about 15 child actors, the amount of ADHD in that room could be, put on display at the Smithsonian. So you've got 8 hours to try to get these kids to all focus, and that was part of my job. I have 4 kids myself, including an adopted kid. I've dealt with special needs and troubled children before, so I have experience with this. Now, these kids that I'm working with were neurotypical, but they're child actors, so they're probably not that typical. But it was challenging, but it was so worth it. The kids' performances in this movie are just incredible. Really, the balance between humor and pathos, which is very difficult to find in a child actor, was really something special. I'm really proud of it.
I love it. Well, I encourage people to go see it. It's a fun film for the whole family, and you come away with something more than a hummable song or a goofy slapstick ad, shtick that you remember. It's far more than that. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, directed by Dallas Jenkins, in theaters now. For showtimes, tickets in your area, go to bestchristmaspageantever.movie. Dallas Jenkins, Merry Christmas. I know it's early, but Merry Christmas.
Oh, it's never too early for Merry Christmas. So thanks for having me on.